Well, hello everybody and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G, John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Saturday, only here on YouTube. Only will he be here on YouTube till midnight, then we'll switch over. We'll be joining the Oldies and More crowd on Oldies and More Radio, but that is at midnight. But welcome to the Vinyl Treasure Show. It's the October 16th, 2021 Vinyl Treasure Show. Pouring rain here in New York City for some reason. It got kind of really windy and stormy today. It was sunny earlier. It was actually kind of hot. But then it cooled off. It's like really damp and crappy out. So you can sit back for the next 3 hours, listen to some cool original vinyl 45s out of my collection. I pulled 54 records tonight. We're going to get through them, and George hopefully will be finished before 1:30. So we're going to zoom through these records here. We opened up tonight's 50s edition with a drummer, Sandy Nelson. This was his biggest hit. It came out on Art LeBeau's Original Sound record label. It was called Teen Beat. We're going to send that one out especially to Ray Boom Boom, and he is a drummer and he loves all the drumming sounds and the saxophone sounds too. He sent me an email. He loves my instrumentals, so we're going to send this one out to him. I know he admires Sandy Nelson. A big number 4 hit for him, a national hit, both on Billboard and Cashbox. August 59 release, Sandy Nelson on the Original Sound label on a styrene press that plays pretty decent, called Teen Beat. Well, enough of my babbling here. Let's open up the vocal portion here, and let's open up with Donnie Elbert and an uncredited group. This is his second of 8 on Sid Nathan's Deluxe label, July 57. This is Donnie Elbert on Deluxe. It's called Believe It or Not.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, believe it or not, I'm in love, and I want you to be my lovey dove. Well, believe it or not, you got my heart, and it's been yours from the start. Well, you're going to be my baby some bright and sunny day. Oh, the day you come to me, you light my life in every way. Well, believe it or not, I've never felt this way before. Say that you'll be mine forevermore. Yeah, yeah, well, you're going to be my baby some bright and sunny day. Oh, the day you come to me, you light my life in every way. Well, believe it or not, I've never felt this way before. Say that you'll be mine forevermore. Well, now believe it or not.
Yes, we open up the vocal portion there with the great Donnie Elbert. Donnie Elbert there, July 1957. That's his second of 8 on the Deluxe record banner. Believe it or not, believe it or not. Johnny G features only original vinyl 45s. Let's continue now. And here's a group from the Fort Greene section of Brooklyn, New York. This one came out on Don Carter's Pet record label. It features Nathaniel Butch Epps on lead. Let's go back to November 1958. Give a listen to the Capitals on the Pet label. It's called 'Cause I Love You.
Boom, 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 shoo-be-doo-be-doo-wop, shoo-be-doo-wop, shoo-be-doo-be-doo-wop, 'cause I love you, shoo-be-doo-be-doo-wop, shoo-be-doo-wop, shoo-be-doo-be-doo-wop, shoo-be-doo-be-doo-wop, shoo-be-doo-wop, shoo-be-doo-be-doo-wop, 'cause I love you so. Oh, you get me so excited.
November 1958 there for the Capitals, came out on the Pet record label. This group of Capitals out of Brooklyn, New York, it's called 'Cause I Love You, featured Nathaniel Butch Epps on lead. Now the bass in the group there, his name is Curtis Falch, and later on he recorded as Curtis Harris. Curtis Harris, of course, known for his Diamond release, New York City Diamond label, Emperor of My Baby's Heart, which is a big record in the northern scene for that, or the Belgian pop scene, I guess we can call it. Anyway, Johnny G here, spinning original vinyl 45s. We count down the music chronologically here on the 50s edition. I don't do that on my Monday night 60s edition, but I do it on the 50s edition. Now, this one is from 1952, and it's a request for Daniel Kubacki. It's a duet featuring Lillian Bell George, who we know or has recorded as Lil Greenwood, and she's singing with Little Willie, who was Little Willie Littlefield, and they're being backed up by the Four Jacks on this release on Sid Nathan's Gold Top Federal label. For this one, we go way back to June 1952. Little Greenwood and Little Willie. It's on the Federal label. It's called Monday Morning Blues.
Now Monday morning is when we said goodbye. Monday morning is when we said goodbye. I felt so bad about it, I couldn't do a thing but cry. You know I love you, yes I love you, and no one else will do. You know I love you, yes I love you, and no one else will do. There's no doubt about it, without you life is blue. We didn't have to break up just 'cause we had a spare. Believe I'm really sorry, I was talking through my hat. No use of crying, no use of crying. That's what they said to me. But what can I do about it? My heart's in misery. Monday morning, 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 Monday morning.
That's an early side there, an early side from June of 1952. It's on the Federal record banner. That's Little Greenwood and Little Willie Littlefield there on Federal Records, being backed up by the Four Jacks by request for Daniel Kubacki. Monday Morning Blues. It's not Monday Morning Blues, not yet. We still got Saturday and Sunday to go through. Then Johnny G will be back Monday evening at 8 o'clock for the All 60s edition. Let's go to Harlem, New York now with this next request for listener Matt Reel. Thank you, Matt, for your email. And some say this next tune was like one of the first songs to cross over to the pop vein, one of the first, I guess, rhythm and blues songs to cross over to the pop charts, as this was a number 14 hit on the Billboard Hot 100, a big number 2 R&B tune. It's the second of 6 on George Goldner's Rama record label for this great group, The Crows. It features Sonny Norton on lead. This one going out to Matt. May 1953. This is a classic, featuring it on red vinyl. I found it for $1 at a flea market, the 303 Drive-In Flea Market in Orangeburg, New York, in Rockland County. The Crows here going out to Matt, May 1953 on Rama Records. Their classic called G.
Love that girl.
Oh, 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 G, my oh, G. Well, oh, oh, G. Oh, I love that girl.
Love that
Oh,
girl.
oh, 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 please listen to me. Hey, 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 my plea. Oh, I love that girl.
Love that girl.
Hold me, baby, squeeze me. Never let me go. I'm not taking chances because I love her so. Oh, 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 gee. Yes, I love her. Yes, I need her. Oh, I love that girl.
Love that girl. Hold me, baby, squeeze me. Never let me go. I'm not taking chances, 'cause I love her so.
My OG, well, OG, my OG. Oh, I love that girl.
Love that
Oh,
girl.
oh, 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 please listen to me. Hear my plea. Oh, I love that girl.
Love that girl. Why I love that girl.
Classics here on the Vinyl Treasure Show by request. For listener Matt Reel, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt, for requesting that, and Matt is in our chat room there. Thank you, Matt, for this great tune. I don't play it enough. I can't remember the last time I played this great tune. The Crows there with Sonny Norton and the Crows. May 1953 release on the Rama record label. Their tune called G. You know, it took a while for this record. This record really didn't become big until 1954. Actually, this was not the side that they pushed. I Love You So was the intended A-side of the record, but the DJs flipped it over, and eventually, you know what George Goldner did? I think didn't he name the G label after this song, maybe? I don't know. Johnny G babbling on here. Let's continue here. Let's move into 1954 now with a request for George Tompkins. This group is out of Miami, Florida. They had 5 releases on Sid Nathan's deluxe record label. This is their first. This is their first release. It was written by the lead singer. His name is Bill Robinson. So by request for George, we go back to January 1954. Give a listen to Bill Robinson and the Quails. It's on Deluxe Records. It's called Lonely Star. Jazz by Request for George Tompkins. That's the debut single for Bill Robinson and the Quails, January 1954. It's on Sid Nathan's Deluxe Records, a group out of Miami, Florida. It's called Lonely Star. No need to be lonely on a Saturday night when you tune into the Vinyl Treasure Show. Tell your friends about it, and thank you all for tuning in, and tell your friends to subscribe to the station. Thank you all for doing that and all your support for the show, the vinyl community here on YouTube. So tell your vinyl buddies. Let's continue now. And last week I played a request for Tom Shaughnessy. He requested the Coins out of Los Angeles, California, on the Model label out of Pasadena, California. And the side I featured for Tom was called Loretta. He also requested the flip side of this, as did listener Darrell Letts. It's a very rare 45 on the Model label, and it's this side features, it says actually on the label, vocals are by Don Trotter and Al Perry. It mentions this on the label here. So this one here, we are in 1955 now, going out to Tom and Darrell, the Coins on the Model label. It with very little instrumentation, by the way, both sides on this song, both sides of this 45. The name of this tune is called Please.
Darling, tell me you love me. Please, please, tell me you do. Please tell me you care. Please, darling, tell me you want me. Please, please, tell me you do. Please tell me you care. I'll give you all of my loving. I'll thrill you through and through and through to prove that I really do love you. I love you. I'll give my heart to you. Please, darling, tell me you love me. Please, please, tell me you do. Please tell me you care. To think that you don't even want me, it hurts me through and through and through. To think that you don't even love me, you break my heart in two. Please don't deny me. Please, please give me a chance, and I'll prove true. Are we so true to you? Are we
That's going out to Tom and Darrell, a very rare 45 on the Model label out of Pasadena, California. They're called the Coins. The Coins from 1955. It's called Please, the flip side of Loretta. Won that on an eBay auction, believe it or not, back in like 2003 or something, when eBay, the early days of eBay. A lot of fun finding some cool records on eBay back then. Don't do much on eBay now. I do some with a couple of sellers, but not much. I haven't really been buying much as far as 45s go, but I'm trying to get my collection in order. Johnny G doing a cool order of 45s here. We are in 1955 and we stay in that year with a request from my number one California listener, Matey Campoy. This is actually a real early side for Matey, but it's a great tune. And you all know this group from Newport News, Virginia, the Great Five Keys, started recording, for the Aladdin record label. Then when they signed with Capitol, they became more polished and somewhat, I wouldn't call them really a pop group, although some of their later tunes did become more on the pop style, but they still had great harmonies, the five keys, and they always do on their Aladdin releases, but this one is on the Capitol label, and this is one of my favorites on Capitol too. It's their fourth release on Capitol. It features Marilyn Pierce on lead, and the echo in the background, like when Marilyn says the words, he's followed up with the same words by Rudy West. The Great Five Keys by request for Matey Campoy, July 1955 on Capitol. It's called I Wish I'd Never Learned to Read for Matey.
I wish I'd never learned to read. Then I'd pretend you didn't say goodbye to me. You didn't say goodbye to me. I wish I'd never learned to read. I'm just holding your letter right next to my heart. You're next to my heart. Read it over and over, wondering why we should part. I didn't know it would ever make me grieve. It would never make me grieve. And now there's nothing left but memory. I wish I'd never learned to read.
As by request from Matey Campoy, the Great Five Keys there, the Five Keys with Marilyn Pierce on lead, July 1955 release. On the Capitol record label, I Wish I'd Never Learned to Read. That is definitely not the case for Johnny G, but let's continue here in 1955 with his group out of Knoxville, Tennessee, and a request for listener Daniel Kubacki. It's their second of three that came out on Herman Lubinsky's Savoy Records, which was located in Newark, New Jersey. This tune written by the lead singer, his name is Clifford Curry. Clifford Curry wrote the tune, and he's doing lead. We go back to December 1955. These are the Five Pennies. The Five Pennies on Savoy, going out to Daniel. It's called Mr. Moon.
Mr. Moon, way up in the sky, Mr. Moon, please don't pass me by.
Mr. Moon, shining way up above, shine your light and send me my love. Make her know I miss her so. I miss her so. Mr. Moon, when to me tonight. Make her know I love her so. Mr. Moon, don't you remember when you shined that night? She was in my arms and I held her so tight. She told me she loved me and I can't forget. But now she's gone and I'm loving her yet. Mr. Moon, shining way up above, shine your light and send me my love. Send her soon, Mr. Moon.
As by request for Daniel Kubacki, they're called the Five Pennies. Clifford Curry and Clifford Curry on lead with the Five Pennies. December 1955 release on Savoy Records, song entitled Mr. Moon. Now, Clifford Curry, he would go on to have a successful solo career in the mid-1960s. Lots of cool soul records for Clifford Curry. Now, the group also went on to record as the Four Jokers on the Sue label and the Chimes on the Arrow label. And in the mid-1960s, this group again recorded, minus Clifford Curry, of course, as the Four Pennies on Brunswick, I think beginning in 1966. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. It's the 1950s and early 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. We are here till 1 a.m., but I'm usually here till about 1:30, and we'll join the Oldies and More radio network at midnight. But let's continue here, and we're still in 1955, and up next, a request for Rick in Philly. This gal originally from Kansas City, Kansas, but she doesn't get top billing on her debut single because this was her debut single. The band leader gets top billing. His name is Jay McShann, but the vocalist, her name is Priscilla Bowman, and it's a song she co-wrote with her band leader, Jay McShann. This song, believe it or not, was a big number one R&B hit. This was a number one on the Billboard R&B chart, and this is a request for Rick in Philly. October 1955, give a listen to Priscilla Bowman on Vivian Carter's VJ Records out of Chicago, Illinois. It's called Hands Off for Rick.
Sweet as he can be, hands off of him, he belongs to me. Hands off of him, he don't belong to you. He's mine, all mine, no matter what you do. Treats me kind and gentle, makes me feel so good, loves me every morning like a good man should. Hands off of him, he don't belong. He's mine. heard my story and you know the reason why. Hands off of him. He don't belong to you. He's mine, all mine, no matter what. He's mine, all mine, no matter what. He's mine, all mine, no matter what.
As by request for Rick and Philly, a big number one R&B tune there for Priscilla Bowman. October 1955 came out on Vivian Carter's VJ Records. VJ Records out of Chicago, Illinois. Hands Off, the name of the tune. Let's continue now. And we stay in 1955, this time with a request for Joe Shacatano, as this group did lots and lots of background session work for the likes of Joe Turner, Ruth Brown, Ivory Joe Hunter, Laverne Baker, Carmen Taylor, Charlie White, Veretta Dillard, Big John Greer, Sue Allen, Piano Red, and others, countless others, this group called the Q's, but they also had releases on their own. Now, Joe requested their first of 5 on the Capitol record label. This one charted regionally. This was a number 4 record on WHOD in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and also on WEIL in New Haven, Connecticut. It features Ollie Jones on lead. This is going out to Joe Shacatano, September 1955. Give a listen to the Q's on Capitol. It's called Oh, My Darling.
Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, such a love I never know. Let me keep you here forever, just to be my very own. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, till the stars have lost their glow, I will never love another, and the years will prove it so. Each day I'll keep on praying that I'm the one meant for you, until I hear you saying the sacred answer I do. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, my lovely golden sun, make me happy. Oh, my darling, tell me now that we'll be one. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, such a love I never known. Let me keep you here forever, just to be my very own. Oh, my darling.
Those are the Q's there by request for Joe Shacatano, Ollie Jones on lead, the Q's on the Capitol record label. Oh, My Darling, released September 1955. Let's continue here. We are in 1955, and let's go back to Miami, Florida. Got a few 45s from the the state of the state of Florida tonight. This one on Henry Stone's chart record label, and let's give a listen to this group called the Evergreens. Pretty cool name for a group. Don't know much about the group though, but it appears to be their only release, written by the label owner. Henry Stone gets label credit, so he probably discovered this group somewhere in the Miami area. We go back to August 1955, the Evergreens on chart. And how do you end your love letters? You sign it with the title of this song, Very Truly Yours, the Evergreens.
I prayed for you to write me, your letter came, and when I read your letter, it was not the same. You know you had no cause to sign it, very truly yours. It wasn't long ago you loved me so. You said the time has come, you had to go. When we had to part, you know you broke my heart. Don't you remember all the little things that you used to do? When you used to write me, you even said, P.S. darling, I love you. All the vows you made, dear, before you went away. You said you'll always love me and write me every day. Yes, you went and wrote me and signed it, very truly yours. Don't you remember all the little things that you used to do? When you used to write me, you even said, P.S. darling, I love you. All the vows you made, dear, before you went away. You said you'll always love me and write me every day. Yes, you went and wrote me and signed it, very truly yours.
They're called the Evergreens there. The Evergreens from August 1955 on the chart record label. Very Truly Yours is the name of the tune, and George Tompkins mentions in the YouTube chat room was an answer record to Why Don't You Write Me? Yes, interesting. As we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, and we are still in a lot of requests from the year 1955. And up next, a request for Daniel Kubacki. He requested this great group out of Baltimore, Maryland. It's their 42nd release. 42nd release on Jerry Blaine's Jubilee record label. And the tune written by the group's manager, her name is Deborah Chesler, and this is with Sid Bass and the orchestra. They were the orchestra that backed up the Orioles on Jubilee Records, and it features the great Sonny Till on lead. By request for Daniel, we go back to March 1955, the Orioles on Jubilee. It's called I Need You, Baby.
Wow, wow. Wow, wow. Wow, wow. Ooh. You love me and you leave me. Well, you fool me and you deceive me. But I want you, baby. I need you, whatever you do. Yes, you hold me and you kiss me. Still you've never said that you miss me. But I want you, baby. I need you, whatever you do. I may get angry, say that we're through, but I know, baby, that I belong to you. We fuss and we fight, and still it's alright, as long as I know we'll make up every night. Well, hold me, oh baby, squeeze me, don't tease me more than you'll please me. But I want you, baby, I need you, whatever you do.
I may get angry, say that we're through,
but I know, baby, that I belong to you.
we fuss, we fight, still it's alright.
As long as I know we'll make up every night. Well, hold me, oh baby, squeeze me. Please don't tease me more than you'll please me. But I need you, baby, whatever you do.
That's the great Sonny Till and the Orioles by request for Daniel Kubacki on the Jubilee record label, March 1955. That's their 42nd release. They have more. 42nd release on Jubilee Records. I Need You, Baby is the name of the tune. Let's continue. We stay in 1955, and I really love this next song. Thank you, Rick and Philly, for requesting this cool tune. This group is out of Los Angeles, California, and it's their debut single on Dootsy Williams' Dutone record label with the great lead of Herman Pruitt here. This song written by the baritone of the group, Stuart Crunk. Stuart Crunk, the baritone, wrote this. This is by request for Rick and Philly, September 1955, for the Calvains. The Calvains on Dutone. It's called Don't Take Your Love From Me. This is for Rick.
Call me names, call me a lie. Take the stars from the sky. Do anything to me that you will, but don't take your love from me. Take the moon from the night. Say I'm wrong when I'm right. Do anything to me that will, but don't take your love from me. Darling, I love you. I swear I love you. As long as you live, I'm gonna take all your love from you till there's some I can give. Call me names, call me lies. Take the stars from the sky. Do anything to don't take it off me.
Yeah, you know, darling, I love you. I swear I love you as long as I live. I'm gonna take your love from you till there's some I can give.
Call me names, call me blind. Take the stars from the sky. Do anything to me that you will, but don't take your love from me. Don't take your love from me.
September 1955 release there for Herman Pruitt and the Calvains by request for Rick and Philly on the Dutone record label. That is their first release, their debut single on Dutone, Don't Take Your Love From Me. They got a great EP for lovers only, I think it's called. There's a release on that EP that is not on a 45. I'll have to get it out to play. I don't have the true first. I have a true first cover, Spence told me, not the true first 45 inside. I think it's yellow. It's supposed to be maroon on that EP. Johnny G here, spinning original vinyl 45s. Hope you're digging on the tunes here. The vinyl community on YouTube. Tell your friends about the show so they could subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell. Excuse me, to get notifications. These allergies acting up here, but anyway, not doing too bad. But let's continue here. Now, last week I played a request for Nick Nicole, a very rare 45 by the Victorians, a group out of Brooklyn, New York, on Morty Craft's Saxony label. It was called Heartbreaking Moon. That was the intended B-side. Now, let's give a spin to the flip before we file it back down in the No Humidity basement. It features Bobby Thompson on lead. It's a cool rockin' tune here with a great sax break from January 1956. 56 here, the Victorians on the Saxony label. It's called I'm Rollin'.
I'm rolling. I'm rolling. I'm rolling. All alone.
Well, I'm rolling, 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 gonna left my happy home. I'm rolling, 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 just like a rolling stone. Well, I'm rolling, 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 not a penny to my name. I'm rolling, 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 and I've only myself to blame. I didn't know when I was living fine. I mumble and grumble all the time. Well, I'm rolling, 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 'cause I feel so sad and blue. I'm rolling, 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 I was a fool for leaving you.
I'm rolling. I'm rolling. I'm rolling. All alone. I'm rolling. I'm rolling. I'm rolling. All alone.
I didn't know when I was living fine. I mumbled and grumbled all the time. Well, I'm rolling, 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 'cause I feel so sad and blue. I'm rolling, 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 I was a fool for leaving
They're called the Victorians. The Victorians out of Brooklyn, New York, on the Saxony label. That label, Morty Kraft's Saxony label. He also owned the Melba label, plus other labels, countless labels. And I don't think he paid his royalties very well, that is for sure. But those are the Victorians there. Flip side of Heartbreaking Moon, I'm Rollin', January 56 release with Bobby Thompson on lead. Let's continue here. We are in the year 1956 now. On the September 11th Vinyl Treasure show, played a request for Evan Blatt. He requested the True Tones on Henry Stone's chart label out of Miami, Florida. The side I featured was called Magic, their lone release, I think, on Chart Records. But listener Daryl Letts requested the flip side, so we're going to flip it over here before this one goes back down in the No Humidity basement. It features Howard Patton on lead. So this one going out to Daryl, December 1956. These are the True Tones, TRU-TONES on the chart label. It's called Tears in My Eyes.
Love is in my heart, tears in my eyes. I love you, dear, soon we'll have to part. Darling, darling, I have tears in my eyes. Tears in my eyes. I love you, dear, deep within my heart, and I pray to him that we'll never part. Darling, darling, I have tears in my eyes. Tell me what I love you so. Oh, tell me, my dear, you should know. I am sort upon my tears in my eyes. The game we play for keeps. Now I realize, darling, darling, I have tears in my eyes. Tears in my eyes.
As by request for Daryl Letts there, the True Tones. True Tones, December 56 release. It's on Henry Stone's chart records out of Miami, Florida. Howard Patton, he's the lead singer. Tears in My Eyes is the name of the tune. Hopefully Johnny G not bringing tears to your eyes to look for these 45. Some of them are really impossible to find, not easy to find anymore, even for the dealers out there looking for the records. You may, if you go to the Allentown show, I used to always find things off my want list. I talked to Greg Surik, he's been going to that show, and sometimes he doesn't find anything off his want list, but he needs so little now. Well, he needs some. I know some of the things that he's looking for because I'm looking for the same ones, but he does find some good records that a lot of people don't own, but he offers them for sale, but they are out there. I mean, if you're dealing with if you go to a record show with a lot of dealers, the chances of finding, if you get to it early, because the Allentown show used to be a whole week ahead of time. I went down there one time 3 days earlier, and I'd spent too much money, almost ran out of money for because then new sellers come in or dealers come in on that day. They're not there during the week, so you can look through all the other guys that come up from Florida Florida and out from the west and or from the north they come in, you can check out their stuff, and they may hold stuff for you too. But I really want to go. I really want to go to that next Allentown show with this COVID stuff and everything. So we got to get over all this. Anyway, Johnny G babbling on here. Let's continue. Let's go to Philadelphia now. Philadelphia with a request for Daniel Kubacki. It's the first of two for this group, the Revels, very popular in the Philadelphia area and also in the New York area too. But the Revels, very well known in Philadelphia. It's on Bernie Lowe's Sound record label, co-written by the lead singer. His name is Sam Hunt. This is going out to Daniel, 1956. The Revels on Sound. It's called You Lied to Me. This is for Daniel.
You lied to me. You said our love would always be. You even said you trusted me. You lied to me. Our love's not true. Even though I still love you. And now, my dear, I'm feeling blue. You lied to me.
Stop your pretending.
And saying you love me so.
Our love has ended.
So, baby, just go. Our love's not true. Even though I still love you. And now, my dear, I'm feeling blue. You lied to me.
Stop your pretending.
And saying you love me so.
Our love has ended.
So, baby, just go. Our love's not true. Even though I still love you. And now, my dear, I'm feeling blue.
So sad and blue.
You lied to me.
You lied to me. You lied to me. You lied.
As by request for Daniel Kubacki, the great Revels out of Philadelphia, 1956. That's the first of two on the Sound record label. You Lied to Me. I have Sam Hunt down. That's wrong. It's Sam Hart. Sam Hart. That's what happens. I'm pretty fan. I can type 65 words a minute. Actually, I used to be able to do 72 words a minute. You know, I couldn't take for my first 3 years in high school, I couldn't play any contact sports because I had a knee that would hyperextend for many years prior when I used to play. I used to run to first base. My left knee would lock and I would fall to the ground, and then my knee would swell up, and the doctor said, "You have a trick knee. You got to put hot packs on it." Totally wrong. I was supposed to put hot packs on it. No, ice. I was supposed to put ice on it, not hot packs. So I was playing, of all things, volleyball one day. So I went to serve, and it was like a rocky terrain, and I fell, and I twisted my knee, and from all the years of my cap hyperextending, it cracked in half and my legs swelled up. I was going into my freshman year in high school, and it was like a week before, and I went to this orthopedic guy, 1972 or 71, and he said, I have to operate on both knees. I said, both knees? I did nothing to the right knee. So he said, well, you can't play any sports. You're going to be in a cast for like 6 months, and whatever. So it turned out that I had to have like a tendon transplant because I didn't have the tendons holding in my kneecap. So I couldn't play sports, so I took typing. That's what I'm leading up to. And I became a really fast typist on those IBM Selectric typewriters. You know, the one with anyway, Johnny G babbling on here. Let's continue here. We just heard the Revels for Daniel Kubacki. Let's go back to Miami, Florida, back to Henry Stone's, this time Marlin record label, with a request for Nick Nicola. Now, I wish I had this in better condition, but beggars can't be choosy. I bought this on eBay. Did not really pay a lot of money for it, but it's kind of wrecked, but it doesn't really play so bad. It starts off a little rough, but it does get better. But this gal had to be about 12 or 13 years old when she recorded this. Her name is Little Iris Culmer, and there is an uncredited group that is backing her up, but they are really the Majestics. The Majestics that also have a release on the Marlin label called Nighty Night. I have a nice one of that. But let's give a listen to Little Iris Culmer and the uncredited Majestics. This is by request for Nick Nicola, 1956 on the Marlin label. This is the A-side. It's called Show Me the Way to Your Heart. This is for Nick. Scratch it.
I'm never lonely, I'm never blue, 'cause I like to live, just think of you, darling, show me the way to your home, you must love me as I love you, 'cause I promise to be true, darling, show me the way to your home. Oh, sweetheart, they will never part. Please believe me, don't deceive me. Say you love me right from the start. So, darling, you won't break. I'm never lonely, I'm never blue, 'cause I like to live. Just think of you, darling, show me the way to your heart. Oh, sweetheart, say we'll never part. Please believe me, don't deceive me. Say you've loved me right from the start. So, darling, you won't break. I'm never lonely, I'm never blue, 'cause I like to live. Just think of you, darling, show me the way to your heart.
As by request for Nick Nicola, it's a rare 45 on the Marlin record label out of Miami, Florida. Little Iris Culmer's her name. She's about 12 or 13 years old, being backed up by the Majestics on that 1956 by request for Nick Nicola. Show Me the Way to Your Heart is the name of the tune. We'll hear the flip next week. Let's continue now on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Go back to New York City, and this one a request for listener Nat Papagallo, listening in Naples, Florida. He requested a group known as the Empires. This is on Bill Lasley's Amp 3 record label. This is supposedly the same group of Empires that recorded for Harlem Wing and Mercury, a great two-sided 45, by the way. I've never seen stock copies of this. Every time I see this record, at least in my travels, it's always been the white sample copy. Never seen the black stock on this record. Maybe it just never was pressed as a stock copy. There was never demand for it. It's too bad because it's a great two-sided 45. This is going out to Nat the Empires, August 1957 on the Amp 3 record label. It's the, the ballad side tonight. It's called If I'm a Fool.
I search for you, darling, by night and by day, because I'm so lonely since you went away. I missed you so much I could cry. If I'm just a fool, tell me why. Although my friends told me that you were untrue, how could I believe them? I loved only you. I know now that I wasn't smart. A fool shouldn't lead with his heart. I hope we meet again, dear, and try to make a man. We never meet again. I'd like to say that we are still friends. Goodbye, my false lover. And now that we're through, I worship you, darling. I love only you. I miss you so much I could cry. If I'm just a fool, tell me why. If I'm just a fool, tell me why.
That's going out to Nat Papagallo, the Empires on Amp 3 Records, If I'm a Fool. That one there from August 1957. We stay in 57, go back to Philadelphia, PA, for this group, and a request for listener Warren Russell. And he requested the Great Turbans, their fifth of six that came out on Al Silver's Herald label. This charted regionally. This was a number 14 record on WGES in Chicago, Illinois. It features Al Banks on lead. This is going out to Warren. January 1957 release for the Turbans on Herald. It's called By and By. Whoops, wrong one.
Whoa, by and by, whoa, when you left me, darling, you made me cry. Well, you ain't good looking and you ain't no good.
You baby more than I should.
That ain't right, that ain't right. Oh, that ain't right. By and by, by and by, when you left me, darling, you made me cry. Well, oh, how I call your name.
You baby just the same.
Every day, every day, every day. I'm gonna tell my story, down to the morning glory. Sit down and wait, and I hope you get everything straight. baby don't lie no more. Whoa, 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 whoa. By and by, by and by, by and by, by and by. Monday, I'm gonna tell my story, shout it to the morning glory. Sit down and wait, and I hope you get everything straight. I've been down in misery, gonna shop with my baby. Look up down the door, my baby don't lie no more. Whoa, 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 whoa.
That's Al Banks and the Turbans by request for Warren Russell, and that one there, January 1957 release on the Herald record label. Their fifth of six for Herald, By and By, the name of that one. Let's continue now, and we stay in late 1957 for this next tune. We head back to California. It's a request for Nick Nicola. It's on Mike Grandy's Spry record label out of California, and this is the intended A-side, co-written by the lead singer. His name is Johnny Woodson. Johnny Woodson on lead here by request for Nick. It's Johnny Woodson and the Crescendos on Spry Records, and the name of the tune is All That's Good.
When you're close to me, I'm in ecstasy. Since our meeting day, I have felt this way. It's the fool in me. I'm a dreamer from my heart. I have found a love sent from up above. Any time of day, you can hear me say that my love is true. I'm a dreamer from my heart. Oh, deep within my heart, deep within my heart, a love that's greater than gold. Deep within my heart, deep within my heart, a love that's never been told. When you hold my hand, you will understand. In this magic spell, it is hard to tell, but it's plain to see. I'm a dreamer from my heart. I'm a dreamer from my heart.
Well, I messed up on the title there. I showed you guys the right tune, but I messed up on the title. See, what happens is, I've played a lot of these. I've been doing the show since 2005, this Vinyl Treasure show, so I have a lot of research that I've played records, some records, 20 times, other records a couple of times. So Charlene maintains my database of all the research that has been done. It's thousands and thousands of lines. So sometimes she goes in and she'll copy the data from a show from who knows when, and she'll put it in a file and she'll send it to me. And then I program the show and I copy in the data. So when I'm rushing on a Saturday, if I didn't have to work, it's coming soon. It's coming soon to a theater near you. So if I didn't have to work, I could have a lot more time to double check a lot of the quick stuff that I do. So I knew what I was playing, but when she copied in the data from the flip side, which I probably played on one other show. But anyway, the name of the tune is called Dreamer from My Heart. I listed the flip side there incorrectly when I copied in the data. But anyway, it's still Johnny Woodson and the Crescendos there, late 1957 on the Spry label. Great record any way you look at it. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Gotta say hi across the pond to Mark Himphin. He's listening in the wee hours over there. Mark, what are you doing out there? Are you out at the pub? Are you out at the pub out there over in the UK listening to these cool tunes? I know you are. I know you have done that, or maybe you're just chilling in your flat there in the where you live. Anyway, thank you for tuning in on this early morning out there over in the UK. Johnny G spinning original vinyl 45. Let's continue here. We go back to Philadelphia, PA, with a great girl group sound requested by George Tompkins, and I love both sides of this 45, and so does George, because he did request both sides of this record. It's on K. Williams' Kaiser record label. It's with Howard Biggs and his orchestra, and it's a great two-sider by the Edwards Sisters. This one from March 1957, by request for George, the Edwards Sisters on the Kaiser label, and this is so true. It's called Living One Day at a Time. This is for George.
The clock on the mantel needs winding. It hasn't the reason or rhyme until you come back, my darling. I'm living one day at a time. My life has been wrapped all around you. My heart keeps repeating, you're mine, until you come back, my darling. I'm living one day at a time. When friends come to call, there's nothing to say. They all try to figure out the score. My heart seems to stop when they mention your name. I try to explain, but I've done that before. I'm oh so afraid of the future. The past hasn't been very kind until you come back, my darling. I'm living one day at a until you come back, my darling. I'm living one day at a time.
That's a great girl group sound by request for George Tompkins, the Edwards Sisters. Edwards Sisters from March 1957 on the Kaiser label out of Philadelphia, Living One Day at a Time. We're going to flip that 45 over for next week, so stay tuned for that. Let's move into 1958 now. We head to Houston, Texas with a request for Cheryl Morgan. Thank you, Cheryl, for your emails. Now, this song was first issued on the Tara, T-A-R-A label in May of 1958. Then it was picked up by Jerry Blaine's Josie record label in August of 58, and that's the press that I have, the August 58 release. It features Curtis Wren on lead, and he also co-wrote this tune with group member Joe Snyder. So going out to Cheryl Morgan, August 58, they're called the Moonlighters. The Moonlighters on the Josie label. It's called Glow of Love. That's going out to Cheryl Morgan there. They're called the Moonlighters. The Moonlighters, August 1958 release on the Josie label. Glow of Love is the name of the tune. I think I have that Tara label, like a whipped copy, somewhere in the collection. I said, well, I had that filed. I said, well, we'll play that one there. Played a couple bucks for that 45. Let's continue here on the year 1958. And last week I played a request for listener Nat Papagallo by Willis Sanders and the Embers. Featured the 45 on the Jupiter label called Your Souvenir. And this week Nat requested a single they did initially on the Millionaire label, which I don't have, unfortunately. I don't have the Millionaire release, but I do have the Unart press that picked it up 2 weeks later. And that's how I own it. This is on the promo. This is for Nat Papagallo, October 1958. Give a listen to Willis Sanders and the Embers on the Unart label, a division of United Artists Records. It's called Lovable You. For Nat.
Lovable you,
Lovable you, lovable, lovable you, lovable you,
lovable, lovable, lovable
I love you, I love you. Yes, I do. Lovable you,
lovable, lovable, lovable you.
thrill me, you thrill me through and through. I'll always thrill to your charms, longing to hold you in my arms, for there's no ecstasy been given to me like yours, like yours, lovable you. Lovable, lovable, lovable. I need you, I need you. Yes, I do. Lovable you. Lovable, lovable, lovable. I want you, I want you. Yes, I do. For there's no one anywhere that could compare with you. Lovable you. Lovable, lovable, lovable. I love you, I love you. Yes, I do. Sweet lovable you. Lovable you. Lovable you. Lovable you. Lovable you.
As by request for Nat Papagallo, listening in Naples, Florida, Willis Sanders and the Embers, October 1958 release. I have it on the second issue on the Unart record label. Lovable You is the name of the tune. Hopefully Johnny G is lovable to you, spinning my original vinyl 45s here on a Saturday evening. We do it every Saturday from 10 to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you all for joining in. If you're new to the program, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. We'll be joining the Oldies and More Network in about a half hour, so they'll be listening on the stream. But let's continue here. 1958. Now, last week I played a request for Nick Nicola. He requested Penny and the Overtones, this group from Brooklyn, New York, that came out on the Rim label. The side I featured, or the side that Nick requested last week, was called What Made You Forget, a great ballad. Nick also requested the flip side, which is a nice cover of a 1930s standard. It features Penny Hardison on lead. It's with Tico Wilshire and the orchestra. This one from March 1958. This is going out to Nick. Penny and the Overtones on the Rim label. Their rendition of the tune Walking My Baby Back Home.
Walking my baby back home. We go along harmonizing a song, or we're reciting a song. I'll go by and he gives me the eye, walking my baby back home. We stop for a while, he gives me a smile, I cuddle my cheek to his chest. We started to pet and that's when he gets filter powder all over my vest. Gee, but it's great after staying out late, walking my baby back home. Kiss and then do it over again, walking my baby back home. His chest. We started
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That one there by request for Nick Nicola, Penny and the Overtones. March 1958 release on the Rim label. Their rendition of the tune Walkin' My Baby Back Home. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We go back out to Los Angeles, California with a request for Joe Shacatano. He requested the Turks on the Keen label, and it's the flip side of Father Time, both sides written by the lead singer of this group, Mr. Gaynell Hodge. It's with Bumps Blackwell and his orchestra. Great two-sided 45. This is the B-side, I think. Yeah, because Father Time, I think, was the A-side. So this is for Joe Shacatano, the Turks, with Gaynell Hodge on lead, April 58 on Keen. It's called Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Okay. Somehow. Okay. 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 Okay for you. Darling, I would like to talk to you. Would you talk to me? Darling, I'm so in love with you. After all, this is me. Oh, 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 okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. 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 Okay, okay.
As by request for Joe Shacatano, those are the Turks, Gaynell Hodge and the Turks there, April 1958. It's on the Keen record label. Keen Records out of Culver City, California. Song entitled Okay. Hopefully Johnny G doing okay for a Saturday evening. Let's continue now. And we are in the year 1958. We go back to Philadelphia again and back to last week. I played a request for George Tompkins. He requested the Frankie Greer Quartet and the song called Lonesome for You. George also requested the flip side, so we're going to give this one a spin. It's on the Swan label, a big label out of Philadelphia. So this is for George, October 58, the Frankie Greer Quartet on Swan Records. It's called Oh Gloria.
You're the girl of my dreams, oh Gloria.
They're called the Frankie Greer Quartet, October 1958. Great two-sided 45, by the way, on the Swan record label. Song entitled "Oh Glory." The flip side is excellent too. "Lonesome for You." I think I paid like $250 for that record. It might have gone up in value. That was a long, long time ago. Johnny G here, spinning original vinyl. We are in the year 1958. This is an ultra rare, probably one of the rarer records. I think this might be the rarest record on Joe Carlton's Carlton label. The Spices is a close second to this. But this is a request for Nick Nicola. The group is known as the Capitals. They are not the same group from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, nor are they the group that I featured earlier on the Pet label. They were from Brooklyn. I'm guessing this group, though, is out of New York City. The writers of this tune are Kenneth Scott, Johnny Brantley, and Leroy Kirkland. We know Leroy Kirkland, the band leader, well established in the industry as a writer and producer. Johnny Brantley, he was also a band leader, and I think he has a 45 I have on this Carlton label, and but this is a rare 45 by request for Nick Nicola, March 58. These are the Capitals on the Carlton label. It's called "I Let Her Go."
I let her go. Yeah, 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 yeah. I let her go. Now I've no one to love me. She just drifted away. Stars above me. Yeah, 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 yeah. I let her go. Now my broken heart knows she's gone forever, and I will see her no
By request for Nick Nicola there, very rare 45 on Joe Carlton's Carlton record label out of New York City. I Let Her Go from March 1958. Don't know what happened with this record. Something went on with this record. I don't know if they didn't record it right or they didn't press it right or whatever they did. And I've never seen the promo copy of this, the red vinyl promo. So not red vinyl, red label promo. So I don't know what happened with this record, but it's the rarest record, I'm pretty sure, on the Carlton label. And when I had a chance to buy it, I said, I have to get it. I had to pay the price. It's a costly record. Let's just put it that way. Johnny G here, spinning your requests. And my request, because I like this next record, this is my choice, this next tune. We go back to Dootsy Williams' Dutone record label for the Cufflinks with an X. The Cufflinks with an X. Now, this group is not the same group that recorded Guided Missiles and It's Too Late Now. Dootsy Williams wanted to capitalize on the Casuals' somewhat of a mediocre hit that they had called So Tough, which was covered by another group called the Cufflinks with a K. What was that? Bill Jennings, I think, on lead of that Cufflinks group with a K on the Challenge label. But he created this other group of Cufflinks with an X and hired former lead of the Raindrops on the Spin It label and also of the Vega label and other songs, Henry Houston, to do lead. But I'm not playing the A side, which was actually I like that cover of So Tough, which I heard on the Gus Gossard show. But I love the B side of the 45. This one from January 1958. These are the Cufflinks with Henry Houston on lead on the Dooto label, Dooto label, with the red Dooto top. It's called My Love Is With You.
My love, my love, my love, my love, ooh, my love, my love. My love is with you, no matter where you go. Each falling tear sends a message saying I love you so. My love, my love, my love. My love is with you when you're sad and blue. When you're in doubt or lonely, in your heart I'll be there. My love, my love, my love. Love is a light that brings out the emotions that I feel. Our light will shine forever. I know this love is real. My love is with you, so darling, have no fear. In each and every way, I'll always love you. My love, my love, my love. Love is a light that brings out the emotions that I feel. Our lights will shine forever. I know this love is real. My love is real when you're sad and blue. In each and every way, I'll always love you. Always love you.
As Henry Houston and the Cufflinks there on Dootsy Williams' Dooto record label, January 1958 release, My Love Is With You. That's actually the first of three on the Dooto record label with Henry Houston at the helm. Johnny G here at the helm on a Saturday evening. We're here till 1 a.m. We'll probably go a little bit longer than that. Got so many cool requests here. And here's another cool request from 1958. It's for listener Amnon, and this one is on Sid Nathan's Deluxe record label. This group is out of Philadelphia. Lots of records out of Miami and Philadelphia tonight, and this is their only release, and I just love this tune. And it was written by the bass and founding member of the group. His name is Albert Hurritt, and it features Charles Cossum on lead. This is by request for Amnon, August 1958. These are the Swingin' Phillies. The Swingin' Phillies on Deluxe. It's called Love. That's what it is. It's called Love. This is for Amnon.
Love. side. Yes, I want you, dear. I want you by my side. I'm in love. Yes, I'm really in love. I'm in love. I'm in love. I really love you, darling, with all of my heart and soul. Your love to me, dear, is the story untold. I really need you, darling, close to my heart. Say that we will never, ever part. I'm in love. That's what you told me. I'm in love. That's what you told me. I don't know. I guess you are telling me right. I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in love. Yes, I do. I love you.
That's the sound of the Swingin' Phillies. That one there for listener Amnon. What a great tune that is. August 1958 on the Deluxe record label. Love spells love. Charles Cosom, he's the lead singer on that. A great tune. Flipside's actually a pretty cool Halloween record, excuse me, called Frankenstein. I think it's called Frankenstein's Den, I think, on the flip side. Anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. This one, we stay in 1958. Now, last week I played a request for Rick in Philly, the Dreamtones on Marty Kugel's Click record label. It was called A Love in the Afternoon, and a bunch of you listeners in the YouTube chat, that being Daryl, George Tompkins, Nick Nicola, asked for the flip side here because it's a great two-sided 45, and this side features the bass, Val Poitier, which is really, he is the cousin to actor Sidney Poitier, if I said it right. Johnny G having trouble with pronunciations. But anyway, it's from July of 1958. These are the Dreamtones on the Click label. Another rare 45, another record I wish I had mint, but unfortunately I do not. So this is going out to Daryl, George, and Nick. The Dreamtones with Stand Beside Me.
Hold me, darling. Please hold me. Stand beside me. Stand beside me. Forever guide me. You are the one. You are the one. Always forever. Oh, never our new love's begun. You're all I have or ever want. Your life and everything to me. Please hear my plea and answer me. Little baby, oh ho, stand beside me. Set my heart free, I'm yours always. stand beside me.
That's July 1958. They're called the Dream Tones by request for Daryl, George, and Nick. Marty Kugel's Click record label, Stand Beside Me, and now Reed did it correctly. I could actually see, because I have the wrong phonetic spelling here. That was the bass lead of Val Poitier. Val Poitier, he was on lead. Now, he also was the bass for the Mint Juleps on the Herald label, by the way, but he also was the bass for the Dream Tones here, and he was the first cousin to actor Sidney Poitier. Yes, that one there. Rare 45 on the Click label. As we continue here, we're just about ready to join the Oldies and More Radio Network. But let's get to this next tune. This is a request for listener Eddie Brown, listening in New Zealand, as we go to Detroit, Michigan, to Devorah Brown's Fortune record label. This is a quartet of three brothers and their father, and it features the lead singer Armin Abney. He also wrote this tune, and he would later record as Orlando King. But this is the first of two for the group called the Earthquakes here on Fortune Records. We go back to November of 1959. These are the Earthquakes on Fortune, going out to Eddie Brown. It's called Darling, Be Mine.
Darling, please be mine.
As by request for Eddie Brown in New Zealand there. That record has gone up in price. It's really in demand. This, especially since that Fortune book came out, this record has skyrocketed in price. Those are the Earthquakes, the first of two on the Fortune record label. From November 1959, it's called Darling Be Mine. And that one there, it's three brothers and the father. The father's doing bass on there. And I think the lead singer here, Armand Abney, he also played guitar on this session. And the father sang the bass. He was also the group's manager. Very interesting on that. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. Hope you're digging on the cool tunes. We want to welcome the Oldies and More radio network to the program. Thank you all for tuning in tonight to the Vinyl Treasure Show. We'll be here till 1 o'clock, maybe a little longer as we get through the requests here. And last week I played a request for listener Mady Campboy. She requested the Arcades on Hiram Johnson's Johnson record label. The side was called My Love, and it was Daryl Letts and Tom Shaughnessy asked Johnny G to flip the 45 over. This was a side that I would hear on the Gus Gossard show because he played this side quite a bit. And this group called the Arcades, the song was written by the lead singer of the group. His name is Theodore Marsh. This was a number 2 record on WBAX out of Pennsylvania there. Number 2 record, believe it or not. But this is December 1959, the Arcades on Johnson. It's called Fine Little Girl.
Whoa, bom, bom, be-do-be, bom, bom, be-do-be, bo, 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 bo. My little girl, you know I love you so. My little girl, I'll never let you go. My little girl, you say that you'll be mine. My little girl, I love you all the time. My little girl, my little girl. When I first saw you there, you were standing so near. When I looked in your eyes, you were fine. My little girl, you know I love you so. My little girl, I'll never let you go. My little girl, you say that you be mine. My little girl, I love you all the time. My little girl, my little girl. When I first saw you there, you were standing so near. When I looked in your eyes, you were fine. My little girl, you know I love you so. My little girl, I'll never let you go. My little girl, you say that you be mine. My little girl, I love you all the time. My little girl, my little girl.
As by request for Tom Shaughnessy and Daryl Letts, those are the Arcades. That's the A side of the 45. Fine Little Girl from December 59 on the Johnson label. This was the numbering sequence. The original is on number 320 Johnson. I think 119 they reissued it. Slim Rose of Times Square Records got Hiram Johnson to reissue it because Baby Oh Baby was was doing well for them as the Shells got back together again and were recording in the early 1960s. I have a nice second press of it, but I like to feature the first presses of these records. But anyway, that's the way it goes. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Here's a request for listener Nick Nicola. I have no info on this 45, but the singer goes by the name of Ernie or Ernest Farmer, and it says in the writer credit. But the only thing I can tell you about this 45 is that I found this at the Yonkers Raceway Flea Market back in the late 1970s. So I'm strolling through the market one day, and somebody had a box on right on the table there, and I look in, and there's a few records in there, and I pull them out, and they're all the same song. This 45. And how much are they? Oh, they're 10 cents a piece. And me like a fool, I'm telling you, every experience is a learning experience. I take one record. I don't know it. It doesn't look like, the label doesn't look like anything special. Of course, I didn't listen to it yet. I couldn't buy all 10 for $1. I couldn't back then. I mean, what was I, in high school possibly? In high school, learning how to drive or whatever. But anyway, that is a learning mistake for Johnny G. One of the many learning experiences I figured out in my record collecting hobby. But it's a great tune, and it's a rare tune, believe it or not. This is by request for Nick Nicola, 1959, Ernie Farmer on the Young label. It's called Things to Remember, and I did remember. This is for Nick. As by request for Nick Nicola there, Rare 45 by Ernie Farmer and Group Don't know who the group is. Maybe they're out of Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know. I saw somewhere maybe out of Atlanta, Georgia. 1959 release there on the Young record label. Ernie Farmer with Things to Remember. Johnny G remembering. And thank you all for tuning in to the Vinyl Treasure Show. I spin my original vinyl 45s every Saturday, beginning on YouTube at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we join Oldies and More Radio Network at midnight for the stream on the Oldies and More stream. But if you're new to the program, you can come and check out these 45s if you go to Johnny G's Vinyl Treasure Show on YouTube, and you can see the video there. I have my two turntables set up here. I spin only original vinyl. We do it every Saturday, as I said, from 10 to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be back on Oldies and More Radio and also YouTube Monday evening from 8 to 11 with my All 60s show and more. So I'll feature some rockabilly and blues and soul records and 1960s 45s from my collection. So thank you all for being here. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We continue here. We move into we are in 1959. Here's a request for Joe Shacatana as we go to the state of Ohio. This is on the MC record label. The singer goes by the name of Joe Caldwell, and he wrote this tune, and there is another uncredited group backing Joe Caldwell up. I don't know who they are, but anyway, this one from August 59 going out to Joe Shacatano. It's Joe Caldwell and a group on the M.C. label. It's called Guess I'm the Lonely One.
I walked out and left you. I was the one. While we were together, we had so much fun. Please forgive me. Guess I'm the lonely one. Parties and dances don't seem the same. We're not together. I am to blame. Please forgive me. Guess I'm the lonely one. Well, if you will come back and say we can start anew, girl, if you will come back, I won't be lonely and blue. When parties and dances, we won't miss one. We'll be together, we'll have so much fun. I miss you, darling. Guess I'm the lonely one. Yes, if you will come back, girl, and say we can start anew. Yes, if you will come back, I won't be lonely and blue. Then parties and dances, we won't miss one. We'll be together, we'll have so much fun. I miss you, darling. Guess I'm the lonely one.
As by request for Joe Shacatano there, Joe Caldwell and a group, August 1959 on the MC record label, Guess I'm the Lonely One. And he is the same Joe Caldwell with a release on the Esta label. I think he also has another one on the BIM Records, that same artist there. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Actually, let's stay in Ohio This Ransom Records is out of. This is on the Ransom record label out of Columbus, Ohio. And last week I played a request for Nick Nicola. He requested Morris Wade and group, probably the Pharaohs or the Columbus Pharaohs or the Four Pharaohs backing him up. The side was called "It Was a Night Like This." And Nick Nicola also requested the flip, as did Tom Shaughnessy. This is another rare 45. I spent a lot of money on this record. I did, but it's a hard record to find. It's Morris Wade, the group, the Four Pharaohs. Do not get mentioned on the label, but they are backing them up. This is early 1959 on the Ransom record label. This is going out to Tom and Nick. It's called "Is It Too Late?"
Is it too late for us to start anew? I'm no good without you. Is it too late? I'd like to know why do you mistreat me so? You know my heart refused to let you go. Say it's not too late. It's not too late. I'm lonesome for you. Whoa, my darling, help me, please do. Tell me that you still care. Let us spend our love affair. Being stubborn gets us nowhere. Say it's not too late. It's not too late. My heart's no good without you. Say it's not too late.
That's by request for Tom Shaughnessy, and send it out to Nick Nicola there. Morris Wade with an uncredited group, but they're really the Four Pharaohs backing him up there on the Ransom label. It's Too Late, early 1959 release. No, it's not too late to tune into the Vinyl Treasure Show. We're going to continue here. We are in 1959. We go back to the Bronx, New York, with a request for listener Emnon. This group first recorded as the Metros in 1958 on the Just record label. Then they changed their name to the Crystals, and they had some releases on the Cub record label. I think, who was the guy's name? Is his name, was it, who's the disc jockey that passed away? Was it John, I forget his name. He used to be on CBS FM, and then he passed away of a heart attack. Shannon was his last name, maybe. I can't remember, but there's like a video clip of him interviewing these guys. But they're known as the Crystals, and this is a release on the Metro record label from June of 1959. This is going out to Emnon. The Crystals on Metro. It's called Better Come Back to Me. It's for Emnon.
Or you can circle the earth, orbit in space, hitchhike to the moon, but you know your place, or you can do what you want.
But you better come back to me, alright?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Or you can jump 100 stories from the Empire State. But when I call you, baby, just don't you be late, or you can do what you want.
But you better come back to me, alright?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, goodness gracious almighty, what can this thing be? You got me in your clutches and I can't get free.
Do what you want, but you better come back to me, alright?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I will tell you like my pappy told Buffalo Bill. Or you can draw when you want to, but make sure you shoot to kill. You can do what you want.
But you better come back to me, alright?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, goodness gracious almighty, what can this thing be? You got me in your clutches and I can't get free.
Do what you want, but you better come back to me, alright?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I will tell you like my pappy told Buffalo Bill. Or you can draw when you want to, but make sure you shoot to kill. You can do what you want.
But you better come back to me, alright?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Or you can do what you want.
But you better come back to me, alright? Okay.
Change of pace there with the Crystals by request for listener Emnon there. The Crystals on the Metro record label, June 1959, released Better Come Back to Me. They were really the Metros on the Just record label. They have a couple good records by the Metros. John G. fixing his chair here. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And this next group is from the Sugar Hill section of Manhattan, and it's a request for Rick in Philly. This is on George Gollner's Lena record label, written by group member Richard Brown. And this one is by request for Rick in Philly. Great two-sided 45. They're called the Ebonairs. The Ebonairs on the Lena record label, January 1959. And the side we're featuring, or that Nick requested, was called, Rick requested, was called Somewhere in My Heart. It's for Rick in Philly.
Where in my heart, that's where you are. You'll be with me for the rest of my life. Hope you feel the same.
For Rick in Philly there, the great Ebonairs. Ebonairs from January 1959. 59 on the Lena record label, Somewhere in My Heart is the name of the tune. The flip side is called Love Call. And if you have Love Call on the Cameo record label, that came out in 64. You won't get this side as the flip. I think it's Don't Leave Me Baby, I think is the flip. That was released for the collector market. Cameo put that, or purchased the flip side of that and put the Camelots on the flip for that. But anyway, that's a great two-sided 45, so stay tuned for next week. Let's continue. Here we are. And I'm guessing this next record is from 1959 because it was never really released in the 1950s. This record came out in 1963 on Times Square Records, and it's a request for Matey Campboy. And Ben Smith sold a number of his extra masters to Slim Rose. He was the owner of Times Square, the record shop, and also of the Times Square label. So he was, he had a radio show, and he was putting out these records, and he was playing them on his show. And the collectors at the time would go in there and purchase these records for a couple dollars, maybe for a buck or two. But Matey requested this song by the Bel Airs. Now, there is a group called the Four Bel Airs that recorded for Extra, but it's not them. It's like an unknown group, so I don't know the reason behind it. But anyway, it's a good tune, and it's by request from my number one California listener, Matey Campboy. So this was previously unreleased. It's on Times Square Records. I have it on green vinyl. I think it also comes on blue. The flip side of this is a Decoys record, I think. But anyway, this is for Matey, the Bel Airs from, I'm saying, 59. It's called Oh Baby for Matey.
Ba 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 ba
As by request from Matey Campboy, a group called the Bel Airs. Nobody really knows who they are. It's from I'm guessing 1959 on the Times Square record label. Oh Baby is the name of the tune. I have it on green vinyl, and I think it also comes on blue. I saw in the Kreider book it came on blue vinyl also. Johnny G here on a Saturday. We're spinning 1950s and early 60s 45s. We do it chronologically here on the 50s edition. We are in 1959, and this is a request for listener Joe Shacatano. I really don't have any information about this group. I'm guessing they're out of New York City because I read somewhere that this group did perform this tune at a number of Tommy Small disc jockey Tommy Small, a.k.a. Dr. Jive Rock and Roll Show. So he probably pushed the record. They're probably for somewhere in New York City, but they're called the Centurions. The Centurions, it's on the Tiger label. It's released in December of 59. This is for Joe Shacatano, the Centurions with We Mean More to Each Other.
Darling, I love you. Oh, can't you see? Life spent together, just you and me. Please never leave me. Stay till the end. We mean more to each other than just a friend. Darling, I need you. You know it's true. I know the reason no other will do. Won't you please never leave me? Stay till the end. We mean more to each other than just a friend. Since I have you, I'll always be true. I'll always believe you. Love me too. Love took its course without strength or force. Apart we're lost. Darling, I want you more every day. Now that I have you, what can I say? But please never leave me. Stay till the end. We mean more to each other than just a friend.
They're called the Centurions there on the Tiger record label, going out to Joe Shacatano. December 59 release, We Mean More to Each Other. Yes, we do. On a Saturday evening. Thank you all for tuning into the Vinyl Treasure Show as we continue here. If you have a request, you can send it to me at vinyltreasures@aol.com. And you can also go to my website, vinyltreasures.net, because who did that? Somebody did that for me. I forget. Floyd did that. I got an email from Floyd. I'm looking for that record for Monday evening for Floyd. But we will. You can send me your requests there. Usually feature group harmony 45s, some R&B, but Monday evening it's my all 60s. But I do play rockabilly and R&B and soul and all kinds of other things, but mainly 60s recordings, not group harmony. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Last week I played a request for Rick in Philly. He requested this great group originally from Steubenville, Ohio. The first recording as the Buckeyes, then they became the Stereos. I played the B-side of their release on the Gibraltar label. It was called A Love for Only You. And listener Andrew Turner asked to hear the A-side, which did well in certain markets, did well on WCAE out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was a number 3 record on that survey. And this tune written by Julius Dixon, I think it might even be his label, if I'm not mistaken, but it features Bruce Robinson on lead. So we're going to send this one out to listener Andrew Turner, who's in our YouTube chat room. July 59, these are the Stereos. This is the A-side of that Gibraltar release. It's called Sweet Peas in Love.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. boy's in love.
Sweet peas in love, I'm really in love. This thing called love, must be something good. Cause he's doing things he said he never would.
What happened? What happened? That boy is nuts.
Sweet peas in love, I'm really in love. Have you seen his girl? Now do she look bad? Oh no, I bet she's something else. I know that sweet pea is bad. He put her hanging on the corner. He put the whole game down. Since he met that chick, I'm telling you, he's the talk of the town. Now he spied a bird. I'm flying up in the blue. Down on the roof. He tried to fly there too.
I think she's got it.
Sweet peas in love, I'm really in love. Have you seen his girl? Now do she look bad? Oh no, I bet she's something else. I know that sweet pea is bad. Do you wish that you had her? Yeah. Or would you give her to me? Oh no, she must be something else. Oh lucky sweet pea.
That's going out to Andrew Turner there. Those are the Stereos. The Stereos from July 1959 on the Gibraltar record label, sort of like Eugene Church a little bit there on the Class label, but that's called Sweet Peas in Love. The Stereos with Bruce Robinson on lead. Johnny G here, spinning my original vinyl 45s, and we move into 1960 now with a rare California flip side from last week. Listener Nick Nicola requested Charles Andrea and the High Tones on the Tory Limited record label. Featured the A-side last week. It was called Didn't We Have a Nice Time? The flip side is also an excellent tune that Nick requested, and this is another expensive record. You can get the bootleg out there. It's like for $8 or $10. Somebody out in Las Vegas is selling that bootleg, but this is a hard record to find. It's definitely a 4-figure record, and both sides are excellent. So this is going out to Nick Nicola, April 1960 on Tory Limited Records, Charles Andrea and the High Tones. It's called Open Up Your Heart. Actually, this is for Nick and George. Open Up Your Heart. Charles Andrea and the High Tones.
I love you eternally, stronger each day in every way.
You're mine, and you'll always be my time. This is our first romance. I'm yours. You're the girl for me. Love me for eternity. Please, dear, open up your heart. Open up your heart. Open up your heart.
As by request for George Tompkins and Nick Nicola, Charles Andrea and the High Tones, April 1960, a song entitled "Open Up Your Heart." Open Up Your Heart. It has "you heart" there. That one there on the Tory Limited record label. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening. Let's continue here. Here's a request for Eddie. Eddie listening in New Zealand, and this group out of Brooklyn, New York. They had a big hit in 1963 with their rendition of the tune "Till Then," but this is their first of three on Roger Sherman's Dart record label. Now, for you collectors out there, the true first presses of this need to say Fair Lawn, New Jersey. If it says Nutley, New Jersey, it's the second, and if it says New York, it's the third press, and there actually is a fourth press that says absolutely nothing. But it features Emil Stucchio on lead, and this is by request for Eddie Brown. These are the classics from September 1960 on the Dart record label. This charted number 34 on WMGM in New York City. It's called Cinderella for Eddie.
Well, it's 12 o'clock, now you must go.
I met this chick at Saturday dance, knew that I would take a chance, said maybe that I should wait, take me home not too late, said sorry I like your style, but I gotta go in a little while. Met this chick the other night, everything was going right, told her of the stars above, how my heart is full of love. Cinderella, whoa. Met a fairy godmother, told how much I loved her, said mama let's play it cool, gonna stick to the golden rule, said sonny get your clothes out of hop, this little baby's gotta keep to the clock. Met this chick and told her why, and I must say goodbye, see you in a year or two, don't call me, I'll call you. My love was true, said Prince I love you so, get in the coach and go man go, it's when I jump with gay laughter, and I've been happy ever after. Took this chick to my kingdom, now we're happy as can be, got my kids and one to come, now we're living in harmony. My bicycle.
As by request for Eddie Brown there, those are the classics with Emil Stucchio on lead, September 1960 on the Dart record label. Cinderella is the name of the tune. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We are in 1960, back to Brooklyn, New York. We go. This is a request for George Tompkins. This song co-written by the lead singer. His name is Sean Syville. Sean Syville. He co-wrote this tune, and the very first time that the singer of this song first heard his tune on the radio, he was in prison. He was in prison for beating someone who wanted to become a member of his group. Evidently, he didn't want to. He said he couldn't be a member of the group, and he beat him up after he recorded this record. And then it was played on the radio, and he was convicted of, I think, on circumstantial evidence. And he spent 6.5 years behind bars. But then, after serving his time, became an investigator for the New York City Finance Department. That's how he said that he first heard his song on the radio. But anyway, these are the Zebulons. The Zebulons from May 1960 by request for George Tompkins on the Cub label. Sean Syville on lead. It's called Falling Water.
Falling water, falling water.
That's going out to George Tompkins there, the Zebulons. Zebulons from May 1960. I love the name of that group. And that the Zebulons will be filed in your very last record box. So it's easy to find, that is for sure. The Cub record label, Falling Water, is the name of the tune. Fun to find a record like that up at the 303 Drive-In in Orangeburg, New York. I was happy to really find that record, and because it was on my want list at the time, back in the late 1970s. Johnny G babbling on here. Let's continue here. Now, last week I played a request for Joe Shacatano. He requested the Mellow Kings. The Mellow Kings on Al Silver's Herald record label. Their 6th of 9 releases on the label called Our Love Is Beautiful. Let's flip the 45 over, because this record was in, I remember my Aunt Mary told me that her cousin, his name was Joey Scatoloni, and he lived in White Plains, New York, and he had a whole bunch of records. It's just a sad, sad story of what happened, because he had all these 45s, and he was, I think, a year older than my Aunt Mary, and he was really into music and into dancing, and I know he would have been a big fan of the show, but his life was cut too short. What happened was, he used to hang out with, like, a bunch of his friends in the White Plains area, and this might have been maybe maybe it was 1960, 62, maybe it was. So what they did is they robbed or they what do you say when they vandalized a payphone. So what they did is they broke into the payphone, and I guess they tried to take the change out of it, and what happened was somebody called the police, and the policeman came, and all the guys were like in this, this cool looking car, and they had their radio on. So the policeman, what happened was he wanted them all to get out of the car, and they weren't getting out of the car, and he was sitting, I think he was in the front passenger seat, and I don't know how they pulled the officer had his gun out, and somehow one of the guys grabbed his hand and pulled it in the car, and another guy rolled up the window so you had the policeman's hand in the car, and the guy started to step on the gas and drag this, and this is a true story, I'm telling you. They dragged the officer in the car, and at the same time, my aunt's cousin Joey was trying to tell the guys to stop it. He kind of bent, when you bend down to try to pull somebody's, pull the foot off the accelerator. So he was sort of had his head bent down, and the gun went off, and it hit him right in the back of the head, and he died. He died instantly, and it was a very horrible thing. But this was his record. This record that I'm playing now was my aunt's cousin Joey's record, Joey Scatoloni, and he was accidentally killed by, they were dragging the policeman, an unfortunate thing that happened, but then he had all his records, and his girlfriend used to live upstairs, and she would borrow the records and never gave them back. But his brother, many, many years later, when he found out, his younger brother said, "Johnny, here's some records that Joey had that we were able to find in the back of the closet," and this was one of them, and the other one he had was another Mellow Kings, but it was the one that had the Down in Cuba by the Royal Holidays was the misprint. But this was his record, so this kind of brings back memories. But anyway, let's flip that 45 over. Our Love Is Beautiful from February 1960 on the Herald label. This features Bob Scholl on lead. It's called Dear Mr. Jock.
Dear Mr. Jock, Dear Mr. Jock,
Dear Mr. Jock, I watch your show every day. Love all the records you play. You are my favorite DJ. Dear Mr. Jock, you know I saw a girl on your show. She's always in the front row. She's someone I'd like to know. And when she dances, I love her glances. She looks so lovely, gee. And when the camera is close upon her, she smiles and says hello to me. Dear Mr. Jock, I feel as though I have met her. I'd like to know much better. Please won't you give all this letter? And when she dances, I love her glances. She looks so lovely, gee. And when the camera is close upon her, she smiles and says hello to me. Dear Mr. Jock, I feel as though I have met her. I'd like to know much better. Please won't you give her this letter?
Those are the Mellow Kings with Bob Scholl on lead, Dear Mr. Jock, one of those tunes where they're singing about their disc jockey. Actually, probably singing about Dick Clark on American Bandstand. But anyway, those are the Mellow Kings. They're from Mount Vernon, New York, on the Herald record label, Dear Mr. Jock, from February 1960. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. This is a request for Eddie Brown. We go back out to Los Angeles, California, to Lummy Fowler's Lumtone record label, and this group called the Upfronts, they had different lead singers at different times on this for their releases. And this one here features Bobby Relf on lead. Bobby Relf was also the lead singer of the Laurels and the Crescendos. Here he is leading the Upfronts here. This is by request for Eddie Brown, October 1960 on the Lumtone label. This is on the Orange label. The Upfronts with Too Far to Turn Around. This is going out to Eddie Brown.
You're glad that I'm a leaving. I'm leaving. Turn on my face. I'm wearing a frown. Oh, but when your thoughts start falling, I'll be too far to turn around. I beg not to hurt me. Oh, but you no longer need me around. Yeah, but when your heart, yeah, is gonna pain, I'll be too far to turn around. You don't ever think of the future. And I know you feel so good to be free. Oh, well, but sometimes my heart, yeah, is gonna tremble, 'cause you made a fool of me. And so I'll be on my way. Oh, my heart is tied and bound. Yes, and I'm gonna hear your little soft voice. Well, deep down, yes, within me, but I'll be too far to turn around.
Yeah, liking that one there in the YouTube chat room. I haven't played that in a long time. The Upfronts there by request for Eddie Brown, October 1960. It's on the Lumtone record label, Too Far to Turn Around. And I have there, the hardest one for me to get by the Upfronts was Most of the Pretty Young Girls. That's a styrene press. Their other ones are too. Lovely Ways or something is another one that I have on. I think I have all the Upfronts. I even have that one about You Duked the Duke of Earl, I think, which is a rare record on that label. I have, I'm missing maybe a very few records on that Lumtone label, which is a great California label to collect. Johnny G here on a Saturday evening as we continue here. And last week I played a request for John Ferry. He requested the Dimensions and their version of the tune Again. Featured Lenny, no, didn't feature Lenny Dell on lead. But last week, I think Andrew Turner asked to flip the 45 over, so we're going to flip the 45 over and play it for Andrew Turner. This is also a cover song. This was done, I think, by Bing Crosby initially back in 1954. Tune written by Irving Berlin. And this one features Lenny well, does it finish? Yeah, I think it does feature the late Lenny Dell. Lenny Dell recently passed away, I think a couple of weeks ago. But this is for Andrew Turner, June 1961, The Dimensions on Coral. It's called Count Your Blessings Instead of Sheep. As by request for Andrew Turner there, cool tune by The Dimensions, Count Your Blessings Instead of Sheep. That one there, excuse me, on the Coral record label. Lenny Dell on lead, June 1961. Let's stay in 1961. Now, last week, I played a request for listeners. Actually, it was October 2nd. I played a request for Cheryl Morgan. Song entitled Lovely D by the Untouchables out of Los Angeles, California. And the flip side, though, is pretty... I like the flip side of this 45. Actually, maybe this was the intended A side, because this record charted number 8 on KQV in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The tune written by Chester Pipkin and the lead singer Bryce Cofield. This one from April 1961. Give a listen to the Untouchables on the Liberty label and their tune called You're on Top.
You're on top now and playing the game. Somehow it seems you don't remember my name, but I was with you through dark and stormy weather. I loved you then, I love you now, and oh my darling, I'll love you forever. Baby, baby. by your side, forsaking all others and swallowing my pride. But you were blind with a wandering heart, and just like the wind, it blew us apart. I'll love you forever. I love you. I love you. Everywhere I walk, I love you. And to whoever I might talk to, I love you. Oh, I tell them that I love you. Oh, don't you know that I love you? I love you.
As Bryce Cofield and the Untouchables there, April 1961. On the Liberty record label, You're on Top is the name of the tune. Actually, that record recorded by the OJs. And they actually also recorded the flip side of that, Lovely D. I wonder if they just admired the Untouchables. This is a possibility. Anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Now, for years and years and years, many collectors thought this next song was the Five Satins, but they were wrong. They are really not the Five Satins, although this group is out of New Haven, Connecticut. But the song was co-written by Fred Paris of the Five Satins, but the group is known as the Cherokees, and the lead singer on this is Marshall Lassiter. Marshall Lassiter is the lead of this. This charted number 38 on WNHC out of New Haven, Connecticut. We go back to October of 1961 for the Cherokees. The Cherokees on United Artists. It's called My Heavenly Angel.
Magic, magic, man, bomb. Yeah, bomb, bomb, bomb.
Angel, angel, my heavenly angel, my angel. Oh, darling, I love you so. I want you forever, forever, and never let you go. You made all my come true, and I love you.
Magic, magic, man, bomb. Yeah,
My Cinderella, Cinderella, like out of a storybook. I've searched the whole world over. One kiss is all it took. As the stars that shine in the sky, even as the man in the moon. While sitting in my lonely room, my heavenly angel, my angel, I can't believe that you're mine, but it was here in my arms until the end of time.
magic, magic, man, bomb. Yeah, bomb, bomb, bomb.
But here you are, dear, in my arms until the end of time.
Magic, magic, man, bomb. Yeah, bomb, bomb, bomb.
Those are the Cherokees. Cherokees there with Mark Lasseter on lead, October 1961. Unitas Artists Records, My Heavenly Angel. That's a cool tune. I always like that up-tempo sound. We continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We are in overtime, almost done here. 3, 4, 5 more 45s to go here. And here's a request from my number one California listener, Matey Campboy, as we head to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for this next 45. It's on the Three Rivers record label, and this group is known as, and you got to look very carefully because there's a comma after the first name. You might think it's Walt Percy, but it's not. It's Walt, Percy and the Tracers. And Walt is really Walt Robertson, and Percy is really Percy Wharton, who actually penned this tune. So this one is from 1962. This is by request for Matey Campboy on the Three Rivers record label. It's Walt, Percy, and the Tracers going out to Matey. It's called Wishing.
If we had the chance to start over, would it matter what happened before? Even though love broke your heart, oh, I know you'll do your part. Oh, to try to make if you had the power to grant a wish, would you always wish that I met with you, even though love broke your heart? Oh, I know you'll do your part. Oh, to try to make amends. You'll never know what it means to me. Oh, how much it touches my heart. It will bring gladness, she races sadness, which comes from me. Oh, well, I'm so glad back together. To part again, I'm hoping never. Thanks to you for doing your part. It erases pain from my heart, and I'll never, no, not ever let you go. Whoa. And I'll never, no, not ever let you go. Whoa. And I'll never, no, not ever let you go. Whoa.
As by request for Matey Campboy there, that's Walt, Percy, and the Tracers. 1962 release on the Three Rivers record label out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Wishing is the name of the tune. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, and here's a request for Joe Shacatano. Really don't feature a lot of a cappella tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, but I do have them. I have them in my collection, and this group there. This group recorded on the Ankle record label back in 1963, but they have releases on Crimson and Ember. And this particular song first came out on the Times Square record label in January of 1964. Then Relic Records out of Hackensack, New Jersey, put it out again in 1965 on its Relic label. And it features David Nichols on lead. This is a cappella here for the Camelots by request for Joe Shacatano. I'm featuring it on Relic. Let's give a listen to their tune called Dance Girl for Joe Shacatano.
Dance girl, I want you to dance girl. Please give me another chance girl, before the night fades into day. So come on, dance girl. Please give me another chance. Oh, let's promote romance, girl, before the night fades into day. Oh, you know my heart, it is in a whirl, simply because you're my lover. Yes, you're my one girl. So come on, dance. Oh, let's promote romance. Oh, give love a chance before the night fades into day. Oh, dance any your way. Oh, for I love you. For you can dance, you can sing, do most any old thing that your heart wants to do. You can sing, you can dance, do most any old thing. Dance, oh come on, dance. Oh, give love a chance before the night fades into day. Oh, dance. Oh, dance. Oh, dance. Before the night fades into day. I love you. I love you.
A cappella tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That's by request for Joe Shacatano. Those are the Camelots. Featured the 1965 release on the Relic label, their tune called Dance Girl. David Nichols, the lead on that one. 3 more 45s to go. Before we sign off here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, we head to Detroit, Michigan now with a request for Matey Campboy. This group first recorded on the Peacock record label back in the 1950s, but here they are on Berry Gordy Jr.'s Tamla record label. Norman McLean, he is the lead singer on this, and this one charted number 51 on KAYO out of Seattle, Washington. We go back to February 1962 by request for Matey Campboy. These are the Downbeats on Tamla with Your Baby's Back.
Just tell him your baby's back and you've had a nice time. I know you were lonely. I know you were so tell him your baby's back and you've had a nice time. Gonna build that little home for two. That you always wanted me to do. I'll always love you. I know it's hard to make him see. Just think about me and tell him your baby's back and you've had a nice time. Just tell him your baby's back and you've had a nice time.
As by request from Matey Campboy, the Downbeats. From February 62, it's on Berry Gordy Jr.'s Tamla record label, song entitled Your Baby's Back. Now, this group, as Reed mentioned in the chat room, later on evolved into the Elgins on the VIP record label. 2 more 45s to go before we sign off here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, and we're actually going to go to 1972 for this next release. And I was actually, when George requested this, I said, wait a minute, I have this record because Surik sold me a copy of this a long time ago. This record released in 1972. It definitely doesn't sound like a 1972 record. And I have some scribbling on this one here. The flip side is an instrumental of the song, but this is the vocal, and it's a request for George Tompkins. It was written and produced by Millard Peaks. I think he's the lead singer on this. Maybe, George, you know better than me. But because I asked Charlene, I said, Charlene, he signed my copy here, so maybe it's, he's singing it, but she couldn't find anything on it. But it's a great tune. It's on the Long Distance label. The group is called 4 Grand, 2 words, Fourgrand, from 1972, and it's a request for George Tompkins. It's called Lost Legend. This is for George.
That's not too old, a story of heartache that a lost cause living today. A lost cause living today. A lost cause living today.
As by request for George Tompkins there, record recorded in 1972. Really good tune there, George. Thanks for requesting that one. The $4,000 on the Long Distance record label, a song entitled Lost Legend. That's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. I want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to original vinyl 45s from my collection. If you want to get in touch with me, those of you listening on the Oldies and More Radio Network, and those of you watching Johnny G on the YouTube channel, send me emails at vinyltreasures@aol.com. You can make your requests to me, talk about the show, tell me you like the show, what you like about it, and I just love hearing from the listeners. And I do get a lot of email from you, the fans, that tune in each and every Saturday and Monday evening. So that's going to do it for this evening. And be sure to come back. If you missed any of the show, you can come back to the archive. And also I have a website, vinyltreasures.net. It's still working, although I can't make any changes to it. But there is you can download the shows there or stream them. I have a page where I got about, I don't know how many, there's like 4 or 5 years of shows on there. And I have the same on the YouTube. I think it might even go back further on YouTube. There's like over 300 and something videos on YouTube. That is a lot. But they're telling me my show was a little long tonight. That's why I think I was getting these copyright issues, because it happens after 3 hours. That's because I need to get more subscribers is what I need. That's what I need. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in tonight. Our closer tonight is from my number one California listener, Mady Campoy. This gal, she's from Beaumont, Texas. Her real name is Barbara Ozin, but she recorded as Barbara Lynn. Her first release is a great tune. Came out on the Eric label. It was called what was the name of the song? Not You're Gonna Need Me. I forget what it was. I'm losing my mind. But it was on Eric Records. Then she signed with the Jamie record label. And Mady requested her 9th of 15 releases on the Jamie label. A tune written by Dan Penn. This is produced by Huey Moe. And our closer tonight is from April 64 for Miss Barbara Lynn. By request for Mady, it's called Unfair. And that's what a lot of things are nowadays, unfair. But we try to make them fair here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Thank you all again for tuning in. Thank you, Charlene, for all your help. I'll be back Monday evening here on YouTube, and also on Oldies and More Radio, beginning at 8 o'clock, 8 to 11 p.m. for my all 1960 shows and more. And I'll see some of you then. I'll see some of you again next Saturday night at 10 o'clock, 10 to 1 a.m., this time 1:30 Eastern. Actually, we're a little earlier than last week. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in and for making this a fun night for me. It always is a fun night here when I'm playing my 45s for you, the listeners to the Vinyl Treasure Show. So I want everybody to have a safe and happy week. I'll see some of you next Saturday. Others I'll see on Monday evening. Just want to say, everybody, so long for Mady, Unfair.
Of the way you look at me, and I know it's not love, you see, baby, 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 it's so unfair. Untrue. When you say I love you, but you broke my heart in two. Darling, you were so unfair. I love you,
and I felt like a fool. I believe every little word that you said. Boy, you really sent me to school. No, you don't care. No, your heart isn't beating for me. When you are my destiny. Baby, so unfair. Unfair to me, baby. You had a one-sided thing going, baby. You had a one-sided.
Okay, folks, that's going to do it. I had like a rough week this week. I got to get these tax returns out for work, and it's like, not good. People leaving the company and they dump the work on you, but, what can you say? They're supplying your money. But here's that record. It was the song that I was thinking. There it is. Matey Campoy, she came in late. Oh, there she is. Thank you, Matey. Matey, they're loving your records tonight. Thank you for all the cool requests you made, because they were asking where you were, because we played some of the records and everybody enjoyed them, especially this one here, Barbara Lynn, Unfair. That's a nice tune there. Thank you. Thank you all for tuning in. And again, hopefully I'll see some of you on Monday, and again others next Saturday night. But send me your requests. Amnon, send me some more requests here so I could feature them. I have a bunch that, I kind of feel, because, I play them by year, so I filter them in. And it takes me a few weeks to do it, but that's the best way, I think. And then I add some of mine. So, so when I don't make the announcement, they're from me. But anyway, again, thank you all for tuning in, and everybody stay well, and I enjoy questions about records. Read, I didn't get a chance to, I think I did get back to you. I did, because I was busy. So I'll be pulling records out for my 60's show tomorrow, for Monday night. But again, thank you all again for being a part of Saturday night and the fun we have here, listening to all this cool music and looking at all these cool 45s and being a member or becoming part of the vinyl community again. Thank you all. And again, thank you, Charlene, again for all your help. So everybody be well, be safe. I'll see you the next time right here on Johnny G's Vinyl Treasure Show. Tell your friends and subscribe. Yes. Take care now. Bye-bye.